heard a theory, too, that, like, some people think that this ain't actually even going on. It's just Carl, as an old man, retelling the story of how the new world became.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I believe that theory at all, but, like, you know what I mean? After, like, Shane died, which I liked, I know you didn't like him, and then Glenn and Abraham died, so I have to pick a new person. So I was never super, like, I always thought Daryl was okay, but, like, I didn't like the whole emo look that he had and stuff like that, and I thought he was kind of a whiner, too. Yeah. So I'm sticking with Carl right now. I think he's by far, like, my favorite at the moment.
I think I'm just gonna go with the baby, dude. Keep the baby safe, and I'll be happy. Oh, the freaks are out of the basement. Watch out! The freaks are in the basement. Chris is back. What's up, Chris? Thanks for coming back. The freaks are in the basement. I can't wait till your next podcast, Chris. It's gonna be awesome.
I have a theory about the babies too. That I think that, like, the only way the apocalypse will ever end, I think whatever event caused all of them to be infected, it's only the people that were alive during that. So any new life that comes out, they're going to be born without the same infection.
You're saying immune to the whatever
yeah,
caused
they
it.
just don't carry whatever that causes it. But the only way they would ever be able to figure that out is if one of the babies were killed and they just didn't turn. So that'd be kind of horrible to do on the screen, to kill a baby.
No, that'd be ruthless, man. That basically what they showed was ruthless. But just a real quick note, the ratings were super high for this episode. I guess these last two episodes were like through the roof for TWD. So it's really fun to know. And everybody already knows they're already scheduled season 8. So we got a lot to look forward to, and we're barely in season 7, episode 2. So we have a lot to look forward to, especially as podcasters, because that means we still got a job, huh, Patrick?
Yeah, exactly.
we still got a job. Are we still on the air? I always make that joke, Patrick. I used to watch Reno 911, and a couple times when they'd come back on the air after their time off, it was the new season, he'd look at the camera and he goes, "Are we still on? Are we still on? we didn't get canceled."
And what you were starting to say there, I was thinking that too. Like, after the season, the first episode, how dramatic and how emotional it was and how brutal it was. I think that they made this a tone down and tried to make it like more of a goofy with the Carol and Morgan interaction when he's trying to talk about Ezekiel and he couldn't even say King Ezekiel without laughing. I think they just, after having such a dramatic and heart-wrenching episode, that they had to do something a lot lighter, because 2 of them devastating episodes in a row probably would have been too much for people.
That gets deep, dude. You're like going deep, man. You're like some of these Facebook guys and Twitter, man, and getting into some of them conversations, man. They start taking it outer worldly and different dimensions and stuff like that. I'm just about the actual show of what happens, dude. No, we can get into all that. You know, we'll do another podcast where we get into all that other extraterrestrial type stuff. No, because there is all kinds of other stuff going on out there.
And the funny thing was, when Kirkman originally pitched the idea and they accepted his idea, it was supposed to be about an alien invasion of where they sent a virus onto the planet. So the humans would eliminate ourselves just so there wasn't any conflict when they came to harvest our planet.
Really?
But then, yeah, he originally pitched that idea, and when they accepted it, then he just like completely wrote that out of it.
Okay, that's new. That's new.
See, I really read deep into that, and if you get the comic book, it's the 10th anniversary of the first issue one. When that came out, he actually had that inside, to where the show was actually supposed to be set in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Rick wasn't married to Lori. Rick was married to Carol.
Okay. I remember you were telling me, you were saying something about that last week.
Yeah, well, I really overanalyze things, and I think about The Walking Dead way more than I probably should.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, I know you say that all the time. Let's get back to the show from this week, the episode from this week. So I we had talked about this briefly, and I want to know what your opinion is, what's your thoughts on why they went from such a gruesome episode, like gruesome, to a gruesome episode to where you had mothers that are starting a whole campaign to get TWD off the air because of what they showed, which I didn't think was very bad because they kind of hit everything. From what happened at the end of that episode and throughout that whole episode to this free lollipop world of a land, why was the switch off?
First off, I think it's kind of crazy that there's mothers actually like making a protest and online petitions and stuff, because if they're that worried about it, their children shouldn't have been watching. They might have been too young to be watching, and they do give a warning at the beginning of the episode. But like I was saying, I just think it was just too heart-wrenching and stuff like that, and they're too afraid that they might push some viewers away if it was just like completely brutal, and like senseless killing nonstop. Like some people like that, and some people hate the story, but I like to know the characters. I want to be invested in the characters. So like you gotta have like some off episodes, even though some people hate them. You have to have some milder and funnier episodes, and not just constant killing, because then like you start getting desensitized to the violence also. If it's nonstop killing, it's like, oh boy, here's another zombie, oh, another person's dying. But like if you make the deaths spread out, that makes them way more devastating to me.
Okay. So you're thinking from all the craziness to the drop off, you're just basically saying it's just a drop off, and that's just they want to take people from being this high outrageous story to just like Goofy Carol basically was like the Candyland world or whatever she was calling it. What did she call it again? I can't even remember what she had called it.
Fantasyland.
Oh yeah,
something
something oddballish like that. And so we went from this horrific slaughter to the Candyland world or whatever it's being called. It's being called so many different names right now. I'm just throwing something out there.
I think they needed a milder episode too, because like people like in reality got so upset, and they're so like people were crying over the episode. People were like missing work and stuff because of the episode. That like you had to give people time to wind down, and then I imagine the next episode is going to get a little bit more action, and then they're going to get right back into the killing and the brutal, and cause like we were talking about, like I think Negan's going to figure out real quick about the pigs being fed Walker stuff, and that's going to make him real angry. So right there is going to invoke an attack by him, and you know what I mean. Then they're going to have to. You'd think Morgan's going to have to bring up the group in Alexandria, saying, "Yo, I have these people that are also having a problem with Negan, and why don't we join forces to try to, what I mean?" No, I think too much. My head's just like going all over the place.
I'm listening to you because you're making a lot of sense. Like as far as the show goes. So
I just feel like I'm rambling so much.
Where we're at talking about it, you're making a lot of sense. So it's opening up a bunch of ideas for I know we got a lot of listeners, so shout out to all the listeners. I was going to look again real quick because I checked a little while ago, and it was like you said it was like at 50 or something. I was just gonna check again. So it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy. This is actually mine and your first. This is mine and Patrick's first podcast alone, right, Patrick? You always just come on as a guest.
I normally only have to talk for maybe like 10, 15 minutes. This is really different, talking for over an hour now.
I was on the podcast last week for 2 hours. Don't you remember, dude?
Yeah.
I do these for 2 hours every week, bro.
Yeah, but you got the voice for it. You're conditioned for this. You're made for this stuff.
That's why Lisa was giving me a hard time earlier. She was saying, you're really going to do TWD. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. You're really going to do TWD in sports? And I told her I've been doing it for the last 2 years on the same day. I've been doing it for the last 2 years. So it's like natural for me. You know what I mean? Like it just comes out. And people people always ask me, how do you switch from The Walking Dead and then all of a sudden do sports? And I'm like, it's just a podcast. You know what I mean? There's nothing. It's just natural for me. I don't know. Maybe it's different. What's that?
I was going to say, but look how it started with me. I just had a Walking Dead fan page, and then you asked me to come on for a guest, and, you know, we started talking because I was trying to get into acting, and then you offered me about the movie, and now all of a sudden I'm just, like, talking on the radio for, like, an hour now. So it's real different for me.
Yeah.
I never thought I would ever be doing anything like this.
I know. I have like I tell people, I have the most fun podcast, and like it's like the best time in the world when you're able to sit here and talk to people, and you know you have a lot of listeners because you could see them all, and you know that we want them to get in the live chat, but whatever. It's still fun. You talk about what you love, what you're passionate about. It's fun, but we got to finish up, dude. So let's like I said, so we had just talked about why it went from such a gruesome episode to such a soft episode, basically. Ike has that kind of talent. Thank you, Lisa. And
you really do.
And I'm really handsome too. So you know, when I told Lisa, when I walk around, I look like a gorilla. My knuckles drag on the floor. That's how good looking I am. No, anyway.
I always said it was I didn't come from a monkey. I was a Neanderthal side.
The art of persuasion. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know if you're talking about me, but anyway, I always say the art of storytelling. That's what Chris has, the art of storytelling.
He's definitely talented.
Yeah, if you could tell a story, it's good. That's what I was saying about music. I know, there's no stories in music no more. Like when we grew up, I was telling her, I'm a sexy savage. Yes, I'm a sexy savage. I know she's talking about me because you're married, Patrick. So
yeah, anyway, my wife called me a sexy beast.
I know. So we went from a gruesome episode to a soft episode. Okay, so we just had to deal with it. Yes, it was the Carol and Morgan, whatever. I thought it was going to be a love affair. I was wrong. For right now, as of right now, I'm wrong on that part of it because it looks like King Zeke is going to take over this situation with Carol. Hopefully
he came knocking on the door.
Yeah, he came knocking at the door bearing fruit. So no, Lisa, this really did happen in the show. We're not joking. We're not joking. But she's talking to me. She was talking to me first. Now she's talking to you, Patrick. But anyway. So King Ezekiel came to the door. We already got through that. It's a soft episode. It was great. So now, we're looking forward to next week. So we know from the previews, it has a lot to do with Darrow and his being captured and being held. Where do we see that going? I know you had already told me your feelings towards it, but give me some more input on it, and give me the feelings on why you think that's going to happen.
I just think, because the whole time, people always sit there and say about they're going to riot and stuff like that. Like, no one's going to riot or anything. But I think I just think he's kind of run his course. He had so many different storylines and everything, other than short of him getting into a relationship with Jesus, which I think is also a possibility.
Yeah.
Because his Daryl's